My name is Chris Chavez. I'm the Director of Government Affairs and Communications for United Launch Alliance. And it's a pleasure to have you here this morning. I see a lot of friends. And we have an exciting announcement to share with you this morning. And shortly we will have our President and CEO, Tori Bruno, come up and make an announcement. And as well as the Chancellor of CU Boulder, Dr. Phil DeStefano. But there's no better person to kick off the program this morning than the Colorado Lieutenant Governor, Joe Garcia. Not only is Joe the Lieutenant Governor of the state, he's also the Executive Director of the Commission on Higher Education and the Chairman of the Colorado Space Coalition. So it's an honor and a pleasure to welcome Joe Garcia.
Good morning. Thank you, Chris. This really is an exciting morning. It's an exciting announcement, but I'm not going to make it. So you'll have to wait just a couple minutes before you hear that announcement. I'm here because, as Chris said, I have the pleasure of co-chairing the Colorado Space Coalition, and because I work with the Department of Higher Education. And I've worked for a long time now with United Launch Alliance, both with their previous CEO, with Chris, and now here with their new CEO, who you're going to hear from in a minute. I guess who's not all that new anymore. But, you know, aerospace is just such a critically important industry to this state. And I think what's interesting is that so many Coloradans still don't recognize that. They're not aware that Colorado is the third largest employer of aerospace workers in the nation. And that's pretty impressive. And the total numbers are we have about 163,000 space-related jobs in the state with an average salary of over $125,000. That is huge. And I see sitting here up front, I had the pleasure of meeting them. I'm actually going to ask them to stand up. We have some undergraduate and graduate students from CU here up front. Everybody give them a round of applause. These are our aerospace engineers, our industry leaders of the future. And CU is such an important player here in the state because they really produce so many engineers, so many aerospace workers, so many STEM graduates. And STEM fields are obviously one of the things that we need to grow more here in Colorado. When we look at the top jobs of the future here in Colorado, and those are jobs that are going to grow at a faster rate, and yet there's going to be few people to fill them, and yet pay a higher than average wage, we know that a significant percentage of those are in the STEM fields, and particularly in aerospace. So I'm really glad to see these young folks here. I also want to thank Bruce Benson, who could not be here, and Chancellor Phil DeStefano for their incredible support of STEM fields, STEM education, and aerospace in particular. Now, you know that Governor Hickenlooper views the aerospace industry as critically important, so important that in 2013, he created a new position. And that position is a Colorado Aerospace and Defense Industry Champion. And our champion is former Major General Jay Lindell. His job is simply to oversee implementation of our aerospace strategic plan and to assist aerospace businesses and defense installations and research institutions to establish information networks and create more collaboration for more success here in Colorado. So I want to thank Major General Lindell. I don't know if he's here. Are you here? Okay, thank you, General. He's the only guy in state government whose title actually includes the word champion. I think that's pretty cool. Now, we also, of course, have incredible support from our military. Before I leave CU for a minute, though, I know I did, but we have to recognize that along with creating so many or graduating so many STEM majors, they also have 19 graduates of CU who have been astronauts. I think that's a record, and in fact, they have one of those astronauts who's actually on a mission at the International Space Station as we speak, and that's Dr. Kjell Lindgren, who is a CU alum. He's out there sending now texts with amazing photos from space. And CU, as an institution, receives more NASA funding than any other public university and has sent missions to every planet in the solar system. Again, that's from Colorado. I think too many people around the country, in fact, too many people in Colorado, just aren't aware of how important Colorado and CU is to our aerospace industry. Now, we have our incredible defense industry as well. We have the Air Force Space Command, the U.S. Army Space and Missile Defense Command, the Armed Forces Strategic Command, the North American Aerospace Defense Command, NORAD, the U.S. Northern Command, U.S. NORTHCOM. We have Buckley, Peterson, and Schriever Air Force bases. And we have control centers for the Global Positioning System, Constellation, and other national security satellite systems located at those same Air Force bases. And of course, we're home to the U.S. Air Force Academy. So we have a remarkable constellation, if you will, of businesses, private businesses, of military, and of public support for our aerospace industry. And I could talk about aerospace all day up here, but I know you want to hear the announcement. So let me just conclude with this. You know that Governor Hickenlooper talks about two things a lot. One is the importance of innovation to Colorado's economy. The other is the importance of collaboration. So we are going to hear now from ULA CEO Tori Bruno, who's going to explain to us this exciting new program that really is a great exemplar of both of those things, innovation and collaboration. Please help me welcome ULA's CEO, Tori Bruno. Thank you.
Well, thank you and good morning. Before I start, though, I just want to, again, thank the Lieutenant Governor for his leadership in the space community and for everything that you've done for STEM. It's very important work. Well, I'm very excited to be here with you. I'm so pleased that you all came out. This is a very exciting announcement. I thought I would say a couple of words about my company, though, before we get to that, just for those of you who might be a little bit less familiar with us. United Launch Alliance is the world's premier space lift provider. What that means is we build rockets, lots and lots of rockets, and we touch your life every single day. If any of you used your GPS to kind of find your way to get, downtown today, we helped you arrive. If you have friends and loved ones overseas in harm's way, we are helping to keep them safe. And if you have looked in awe and wonder at the recent discoveries in our solar system, the Sun, Mars, now even Pluto, you have gazed on our work. We are very proud to do this. In just a scant 15-minute drive from this very spot is the single largest concentration of rocket scientists in the world, right here in Colorado, and we are thrilled to be here. And I will tell you that I could not be more proud of that team of people. They have now launched over 100 missions with a perfect record of mission success, unprecedented in our industry. We are America's ride to space. So, I have found that this is a very exciting time to be in the space industry. There are new discoveries every day. The nature of the commercial uses of space is changing all the time. And we are on the very cusp of an expanded human presence beyond our planet. An exciting time to be alive. You all are part of this, and you will see it happen. And so I have made it a personal goal to make space much more accessible for everyone. And we want to talk today about one of the new technologies, new innovative things that is a part of that. It's what we call CubeSats. These are small satellites that are built very, very affordably, very inexpensive, that can do a whole host of different missions and play a very, very important and crucial role in STEM, in science education, especially at our university level. And every year, these small satellites are becoming more and more capable, doing more missions, having greater potential. But there's a problem. It's very difficult for CubeSats to find a ride to space, to actually get there, to do their research, to do their mission. You see, when you're a CubeSat, you get to space by finding another large conventional satellite who's gone off and bought a rocket, bought a ride to space, and you have to go to those folks and say, would you mind if we did a ride share, if we could sort of hitch along with you and get to space that way. And so it's difficult to find a ride. It's very difficult to know exactly when that ride will be. And in many cases, it's even hard to understand into the last possible minute what the requirements will be that you're going to have to design your CubeSat to in order to be part of that mission. And so the effect that has had on this important area is really stunting the growth of CubeSats and the other satellites, the smaller satellites that they can enable through that research that they do, because it's so hard to get to space. Well, we're going to change that. We're going to completely transform the availability of space for CubeSats, for their commercial applications, and most importantly, for the research and STEM opportunities that they provide. So starting a year and a half from now, we are going to start placing on our Atlas rocket a standard CubeSat carrier with as many as 24 berths for CubeSats. Now, I want to give you a feel for the importance of this scale. Last year, the worldwide trips to space by CubeSats was less than 160. Our Atlas rocket flies very, very often. So in a year and a half, all of a sudden there are going to be rides to space. And there will always be a free berth. There will always be free berths for STEM applications for universities. And my vision is that we will transition to a point where nearly every Atlas rocket is carrying this standard carrier with these CubeSats. We fly Atlas 10 times a year or more. We're going to more than double the entire worldwide capacity for a CubeSat to get to space. It will completely transform that environment and enable the research, enable the STEM opportunities that this brings to the industry and to our students. So I could not be more excited about this. I hope that you're excited too. And at this point, I would like to invite the Chancellor of CU Boulder to come on up. Phil, if you could join me. Now, before I turn it over to your remarks, though, I wanted to make one more announcement relative and specific to CU. The very first free ride to space for a CubeSat is going to be your ride.
Right. Thank you. Thank you, Tori. Thank you, Tori, and good morning to everyone. I want to begin by recognizing the chairman of our Board of Regents who's here, Kyle Hibble. Kyle, thank you for being here this morning. We at CU Boulder are honored to be part of this exciting new United Launch Alliance program offering free CubeSat launches for competitive university experiments and educational projects. This program is open to all universities nationwide, and we're delighted that CU Boulder students have been offered the first free CubeSat launch slot in 2017. University of Colorado Boulder students have been building and operating small satellites for 20 years. The ability to provide science and engineering students with the opportunity to fly the satellites they build is an invaluable motivational and educational tool. And we want to compliment ULA for being so supportive of STEM education and hands-on engineering opportunities. This is a visionary organization that is helping to facilitate a nationwide STEM effort, and we are thrilled to be partnered with him. We've launched 6 missions with United Launch Alliance since 2006, one that's going up next month, as well as our Mars Explorer, MAVEN, 2 years ago. It's because of opportunities like this that our students are well prepared and well positioned to contribute to the Colorado space and aerospace workforce. More than 10% of ULA's Colorado workforce are CU graduates, and I'm often told by Colorado aerospace companies that a very high percentage of their engineering employees are CU graduates. I'm also proud that our Aerospace Engineering Sciences Department is number 10 nationally in both graduate and undergraduate rankings, according to U.S. News and World Report, and number 3 by the National Research Council. And I'd like to give a shout out, and I know the Lieutenant Governor introduced our students, but I want to say a little bit more. And I'm going to start first with Kristen Hanslick. Kristen is a graduate of Niwot High School here in Colorado. She's a junior in computer science on the Star Tracker algorithms for the Polar CubeSat. She's been inspired to pursue an aerospace career through her involvement on Polar Cube and working with the Colorado Space Grant Consortium. Congratulations, Kristen. Colden Rouleau is a graduate student who chose to attend CU to pursue his PhD in aerospace engineering because of the opportunity to work on space hardware. He earned his undergraduate degree from Olin College. He's working now on two CubeSats, one to launch December 3rd on a ULA Atlas rocket. It will launch from Kennedy Space Center and will be delivered to the International Space Station and then deploy from Space Station in January. And he's also working on another CubeSat as part of an international team to study the re-entry region of the atmosphere. Colden, congratulations to you. And finally, Naveen Penmetsa, who interned for ULA in the summer of 2011. He earned his Bachelor of Science in Aerospace Sciences, Engineering Sciences from CU in 2012, then worked for ULA for more than 2 years as a test engineer. Now he's a full-time graduate student at CU Boulder, working on his master's degree in Aerospace Engineering Sciences. Naveen, congratulations to you as well. These three students, of whom CU Boulder is so proud, are shining examples of the impact that programs such as ULA's free CubeSat launch program can have on aerospace education in Colorado and across the U.S. We're delighted to once again be a partner with United Launch Alliance for the exciting program. So Tori, I want to turn it back over to you now.
Well, I'm just so excited about how this is going to transform access to space for research, for STEM education, that I just have to share that excitement with the community. So this program is not yet named. And so I'm inviting students and universities and educators across the country to help us pick a name for this. So you can go to our special email address, ulacubesat@ulalaunch.com, or if you can't remember all that, just go to the website and find a link and tell us what you think we ought to call this thing, and then you will help us name it, and then the institution that you represent will have the second free ride to space. So thank you all. Wow, we just launched a rocket or what? That was a long. Thank you. Thanks. We are going to revolutionize the world of CubeSats.
Academic STEM educational institutions, they don't have an easy way to get to space. We're going to make that free to them.
Offering.
These CubeSats are great. They're these tiny little things. They're 4 by 4 by 4, and they only weigh about 3 pounds. And we can launch up to 12 of these on our Atlas V rocket. What that means is we can launch a constellation of these for a customer. We can launch 12 different missions if necessary.
And they can put amazing things into these little CubeSats.
I know my home university has a program, and I know there's a lot of other universities who also have CubeSat programs, and it's just kind of a struggle to get them into space.
What we researched and what we've seen in some major universities and some learning institutions is they get to a point after building these CubeSats that they're ready to launch, but they can't launch, maybe because they don't have the funding, the resources, or the opportunities to.
In the long term, we're going to see greater and greater utility manifesting in small satellites, microsatellites, nanosatellites, and that the path to that future runs through CubeSats.
And we, through our new CubeSat program, ULA is going to revolutionize and liberate these great ideas into space by providing free ride shares aboard our Atlas V rocket.
You won't pay to put CubeSat carriers on our rockets. You would have to pay to take them off. This is going to change everything and completely open that world.
Being America's ride to space, we feel like this is something that's going to be revolutionary. We want to be America's ride to space for all CubeSats.